Hi, and welcome to the differences between the manga and anime in Beastars. I'll be mainly going over the English dub, so let's start off with episode one, and hopefully I can get through the entirety of this right now. So, first off, well, our first difference is right there, and this isn't exactly a Netflix original entirely. It's a little, I guess, disingenuous, and it's rather a series by Haruhi Itagaki. Here's the actual manga, which we'll be going over. Okay, well, I mean that's if we're being very just super nitpicky, which I might do kinda. Let me know if we should be super in depth with it. Every little small detail maybe. But next off, it's not much, but we do see in the manga that Tim does have more to say about the one chasing him compared to the anime. But in the anime, we do see, I guess, a bit more of Tem being chased. Like, you see he's going down the hall and down the stairs, which, which, in the manga, all we have is just really this page showing, yeah, just the hallway, really, not the staircase.
You mean you would really eat your classmate? We were always in the same class together.
Which, pretty much, that's all Tim says there. See, in the anime, which is essentially like what Tim says right about here in the manga, summed up. Which that's another thing I do want to go over is a lot of this is there might be bits and pieces that might have been mistranslated. Probably words are hard. Don't hurt me. So I'm not gonna be too like on like certain words that might be different in this. But yeah, we get the gist of it. They even added this little extra part, as we see here in the anime only, with the projector being turned on and showing a slide from a lecture about mutual understanding between species, which is a major theme in the entire series, I guess. Which, which, of course, was not in the manga, as you can see here. That didn't happen. Now, this next one is a super nitpick, so let me know if I should include these like super small differences between the two. But the one attacking Tem grabs him, and then it shows the attacker about to bite him from Tem's POV, and this is the manga. But
Carnivores are all monsters, every one of you!
that's all we get in the anime for that little part, which is just showing that Tem is getting bitten. Also, I do want to bring up that in the anime, that the attacker sounds nothing at all like who it allegedly is. The possibility people, who it could be, I guess. Well, unless you want to count Bill, spoiler. Because to me, at least, I don't know, he sounds kind of feline-like. Kind of like the Shishigumi lions, those guys. So, Yeah, weird choice. Doesn't sound like me at all. Spoiler. Also, in the manga, the silhouette is far more skinnier, and the face is much, much different than what the anime actually shows. In the anime,
Carnivores are all monsters, every one of you!
which the anime, it's easy to tell it's not Legoshi by just the mouth size, and let's not even talk about the ears of whatever that is in the anime. But in the manga, it almost looks more like it could be, you know, Legoshi, rather than spoiler, the bear who it actually is supposed to be. So I kind of don't get why they went with that in the manga. I guess attention, but it didn't show that like weird opening scene like in the anime, which shows like the Legoshi Haru thing. Ah, he's gonna eat it, and which doesn't really get touched on for like another like episode later, I think, or so. Which is that's the thing about the anime. Like a lot of the pacing and just where things are just weird. I think they kind of fumble that, to be honest, compared to the manga, how it could be. So yeah, they definitely at least got that little bitty right that in the anime, the silhouette does look like it could be who it is eventually. So, but it just makes no sense either way. Like it's like you got on one side you got the manga trying to like jibate you with like, oh, it could be Legoshi. Then you got the anime trying to jibate you with like, oh, it could not be Legoshi, but we showed a scene of him like trying to pounce on somebody in like the first little bit randomly for no reason. I guess they gotta grab you in somehow, right? I don't know. It's kind of weird. And then like this is one that kind of annoys me about the anime. We just jump right into like this scene with like the girls. Oh, like gossiping about who could it be. When in the manga they removed a part that showed Legoshi's roommates. Look at them playing cards because they were on cleanup duty outside the herbivore dorm. And then we got Best Boy Jack trying to get Lisa's attention, but gets ignored. Also, from what I can tell, at least, I'm not a master speciesist, you know? But did they race change Lisa from a gazelle to what? I, I don't know. I don't know what this is. Looks, I don't know, like a deer or something, like some kind of like one like that. I mean, no antlers, no ear different, like the ear difference, like I don't know. So
We just
then we got
rehearsed
them just
together
gossiping
yesterday.
about
I
like
bet a
who
carnivore
killed
student was
Tim and like what
responsible.
happened, and then they're just glaring at those two for some reason. Whoops, go back. Like the amount of racism in this, man, shame on you. But what they were doing in the manga was they were giving a hard time to Best Boy Jack and the other canine roommates of his that came along with him to see Lisa. And in the anime, they completely moved this specific part right here, where one of the girls give Best Boy Jack a drama club contact list to give to Legoshi as a means to introduce Legoshi to us, which in the anime,
Be really careful, else there is a gray wolf in that club of yours, isn't that
they use that same horse girl talking to Els, who is in the drama club with Legoshi, as a way to introduce him, since they were telling Els to be wary of the Grey Wolf, as it panned to a very certain hand that belongs to nobody in particular, trust me. Yeah, got no idea who that could be. No clue. Uh, could be like a rhino or something, maybe. Gonna just leave. Yeah, it's the other way. And that is the only main similar thing between the anime and the manga in this part, which the manga, it actually did kind of show him a bit more, you know? Now, the next difference in the anime, we're given the exposition of the club members reacting to Tim being killed and the grief they have while having to replace him in 2 weeks specifically.
This sucks. Tell me about it. The performance is in 2 weeks, right? Need to find a replacement for Tem.
Yeah.
I mean, how do we do that? One of our classmates just died.
Which is somewhat similar to the manga, but instead of it being in a locker room with Goshi clearly being there to hear it, in the manga it was just said in general with the club members, but there's more obvious tension before the staff chief drama club guy Bert arrives. The chief. Also, we can see Sally's clearly having some trouble opening some walnuts.
Are you okay, Els?
I'm sure you all know by now. Something terrible happened here at school this morning.
But sir, you know that Tem was closely involved with the carnivores in this club.
That's exactly why I can't stand herbivores.
Oh, wanna fight?
But there is more obvious tension before the staff member arrives compared to the anime, like the little build up, you know. And in the anime,
Yeah.
Legoshi says nothing at all during the drama club scuffle and just stares at Els, then disappears. Ominous. Now, difference between that Sally in the manga and the anime is right here, where she's specifically looking for Legoshi to open the walnuts in the anime.
Hey, I can't crack these walnuts. Where's Legoshi?
Hey, you, it's not Legoshi's job to be a nutcracker, you know.
Unlike in the manga, well, she's just kind of generally saying it, I guess. But in the manga, during that heated arguing, we get introduced to Legoshi by him having to fix a light that turned out and spooked everyone during it. And they all turn to him. He's then asked about Tem and his thoughts about what happened, and actually comes down and talks about it in length. While also opening the walnut for Sally, which I think is a nicer version of that outcome, rather than Sally asking for Legoshi to open them, which instead he comes to aid out of his own will because he noticed. I think that really, just adds a bit more to his character in the manga than, the anime, which uh essentially gave him no little bit of, I guess, growth there, or like anything at all during that whole scene, which is the polar opposite of what the manga did. Give him a whole speech, pretty much, about him, how much he cares. Now, this next one is troublesome, and I know that in later seasons, episodes and such on it's gonna be way more convoluted. So bear with me as I try to make it all make sense. So, in the manga, after the drama club concluded for the day, we see Els talking to the other girls in the locker room, as she's worried about what Legoshi said about Tim, which this whole part is Not in the anime at all.
His eyes were looking at prey. I swear that wolf is telling me that I'm next.
Oh, come on. Legoshi's a bit strange.
But in the anime, it just cuts Els walking with a lemur back to the dorm
Lemurs are always cheerful and fun to be around.
and having the same conversation with the lemur in both. But prior to Els walking with the lemur in the manga, we get a part where Legoshi is getting a book from Tam's locker and then being asked about it by other students. And even chastised by Bill for being dismissive to the chief of the drama club. Sasha, the seagull guy. I don't know. I don't know animals. Help. Then we see Legoshi talking about having to do something today for Tem.
You pretend to be my friend just so you can eat me when you get hungry?
I wonder where we heard that from before.
You would really eat your classmate? We were always in the same class together.
But this whole scene is way simpler in the anime compared to the manga. Like, oh man. Oh boy. Get ready for this one. This is gonna be a toughie. So, in the manga, this whole confrontation takes place inside at the rehearsal hall, with Legoshi knowing Els forgot her watch and waited. Then the similar scene played out, except Els said much more about Legoshi in the manga than the anime.
Don't underestimate me! I'll use this! Tam and I are tougher than—
Which she didn't say as much in the anime compared to what she said in the manga. So in the manga, they at least made it kind of make sense that like where she kind of just got the scissors from, they were just kind of lying around. But in the anime, Els just be staying strapped with a pair of scissors in her bag, I guess. Yeah, that's my weapon of choice. Or I don't know, do girls do they carry scissors in their bags? Is that a thing? No idea. And now, personally, how Legoshi confronted Els in the manga is hella far-fetched, like anime villain vibes, which I mean fits his character, but not really reality, I guess. I kind of like the anime's version better in this confrontation. The other main difference in chapter 1 now is the place where Legoshi and Els talk after, and that's all really. They moved around more in the manga, I guess. But in the anime, we're given some flashbacks
It's
of
just not the right time.
Tem and Legoshi.
Don't worry. I'll wait for the perfect moment to tell her my feelings.
Even one of Legoshi visiting the shrine to Tem. And after that, we get a scene in the anime where Legoshi is at Tem's shrine, and we're introduced to Louis from Legoshi's BL Glazing Thoughts.
His gestures, his voice, and his gaze. He must have it all down. Of course he does. It's Louis. He's only a year older than me, and he's the lead actor and pretty much runs the school.
Now, this is also where we go way off track in the anime. From the manga, it was the Anteater student at Tem's shrine, and then Best Boy Jack being shown to be friends with them. Then another friend of the Anteater, who is a horse, says to stay away from carnivores, canines, like Best Boy Jack. They really drive home the carnivore racism much more in the manga with scenes like this. Anteater one getting lots of mail from relatives and mentioning how herbivores get them, since their herbivore relatives worry much more. Next, we get a scene with Best Boy Jack and Legoshi talking about bugs and even going in depth about the plot of the play, Adler. And during this whole time in the anime,
You're the pup in the art department. I've got a task for you to do.
After Louis and Legoshi walk off together for his errand, and a lot of sexual tension that happened, we get lots of horror scenes, and some of her getting bullied, which didn't happen in the manga, at least at this point. Now, this part will be tough to compare to the anime. At this point, we're showing Legoshi, Louis, and the goat student, Zoe, I don't know, in an office. Louis is telling Legoshi the errand is to get Zoe fitted for a costume as Tem's replacement, which, in the manga, which is shown the manga student reading the Atlas script and then bumping into Zoe being fitted for a costume and being told that he's Tem's replacement, which surprises Kai, the mongoose. And then Kai goes to confront Louis, and now we're probably introduced to Louis in the manga, who is sitting in the office with Legoshi. And at least the anime did set up why Legoshi is there, unlike the manga, which Legoshi is there. And when Kai asks Louis why he's there, Louis says he's here to get arrangements for costumes done, then tells Kai he's no longer on the acting team. Well, at this point in the anime, we're knee deep in Louis bullying Zoe.
That is all that goats like you are good for, isn't it? Eating paper? This isn't the place to go around showing off, you know.
I'll memorize it by tomorrow, I promise.
And then we got Kai bursting in the middle of it to confront Louis about the decision for Tem's replacement, which isn't how it happened in the manga. And Louis didn't bully Zoe. Now, next up, we have things out of order compared to the manga, the anime. The anime pretty much did all the Zoe and Louis stuff with Legoshi together, and the Kai scene after, and then a scene with Haru after Louis propositioned Legoshi to help rehearse. Which, the part where Legoshi, Louis, and Zoe are now being told to us in the manga by Legoshi's thoughts of it from earlier while standing guard outside the gym. A little out of order and weird, but you know, it works. Now, here's where we get into Legoshi's weird love for smelling people who freshly used washrooms in the anime only, since in the manga we didn't even see Haru yet. But in the anime, we've already gotten many scenes with her already, which do happen next chapter in the manga as a flashback during the introduction to Haru, as she's being held by Legoshi, which a few of these Haru scenes that happen in the anime are different in the manga. Instead of some books following while Haru is watering flowers outside, and then Haru's own bed mattress for some reason.
Maybe you would just rather move out then.
Like, the fuck? In the manga, it's just a nutshell falling on Haru's head while she's walking up some stairs inside, which is dropped by Mizuchi, who doesn't like Haru. You'd think that, you know, they'd be more savage in the manga, but we get attempted murder in the anime instead. That's wild. Also, the part where Haru is clearly being shown as an outcast in the cafeteria by others is done simpler in the anime. When Haru is sitting alone in both points, it plays out differently.
Wow, I am impressed. The whole school's ignoring you, and yet you sit here still so strong, Haru.
In the anime, she's confronted randomly by the Harlequin rabbit Mizuchi. And in the manga, it's Sally the squirrel explaining why she can't be seen with Haru. It is because of something Haru did, which in the anime we hear about first from Mizuchi herself. And that's episode 1 Uh, so far, been kind of going for about an hour 20 minutes. Not bad, not bad. So I guess we'll see how short or long this might be. My guess is I want to say this will be probably like 17 minutes, maybe. We'll see. But thanks for watching, and have a great day. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. I'll keep working on this. I do want to get the entire anime done all the way. I'm so far like I think like 8 episodes ahead right now with like all the stuff like plotted out, but I just gotta record this, you know. I kind of I guess taking time with it, you know. I'm not great at editing and you know that stuff, so hopefully I'll get these out in time. Maybe once a week, hopefully. But yeah, let me know if you'd like to see more. And if I missed any stuff or things, I'm sure there's bits and bobs here maybe, but you know, try my best. And how things are, it's a lot of times it's just like things being out of order in the anime and mangas. It just, you know, some bits I might leave out because of that, but let me know your thoughts on how I should, I guess continue with these. And who's your favorite character? Mine's Agoshi, of course. Nah, it's Melon.